Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. People ask me all the time, Prof, what's different about your life now that you have this promotion you talked about on your channel? And, what's different is I don't prioritize this game and the time that things come out on several days anymore. I used to be glued to the wall. People would joke, Prof, I think you're so fast on responding to topics in this game that it's like your head is plugged into the wall. And the reality is that isn't a joke. I was doing that for over 5 years, about 5.5 years. But now, it's kind of like I've landed the plane, I've gotten out of the plane, I'll sometimes get back in the plane, but I'm also spending several days where I'm just not caring if I'm not in the air. And yes, I'll still produce videos, but they're kind of casual videos, crystal openings, mostly commentary submissions, where I can record them at any part of the day, and they're not time sensitive. They're the opposite of time sensitive, really. Even if you go back and commentate like a July 4th crystal opening, it's still fun to do, and it's not like you can't still enjoy it, even though reminding yourself of how incredible those resources were and offers were is crazy because it's been like a drought since then. Well, I was shocked by the pushback on this, but I kind of do get it. We didn't think we'd have 2 early access bundles because early access bundles are designed, the definition of them, is to give us a preview of a champion that we can't get yet for units. But the second champion of this month is OG Iron Man. Somebody that we have seen for years. One of the oldest champions in the game. So Iron Man in pre-release bundles, that caption is bizarre. Because it should say get Iron Man in post-release bundles. Because we're post his release by like 7-8 years. Now, obviously, 7-star OG Iron Man is not someone that we have seen before. And so, if you're going to have us care, you've got to make that percent much higher than usual. In this crystal, it's not. It's 0.2% for a 7-star OG Iron Man, which I think is a huge mistake. And then on top of that, if you compare that to what's normally here, like even in a Paragon crystal, you're not getting the added assumed value of a champion that's old, really, really old. And look, I thought he was going to be a good defender. So far, every time I fought him, except in the event quest, which has, of course, steroided nodes that make you way better than you actually are, he's been kind of a joke. And his new animations are cool, but it's not moving the needle for me to take up my OG Iron Man like I thought. To me, it still feels like in some ways he's a poorer version of Iron Man Infinity War. Now, are there any positives that we can discuss from this? I think there's one major one. And that's that instead of 5 crystals, we have 10. And that's probably Kabam's justification for the price tag, because this is essentially 3,000 units worth of featured Paragon crystals, and then the 507-star shards, the 3 greater champion boost, and the 2 OG Iron Men are a bonus. But so many people have to be like me. Who cares about 2 5-stars when, for the first time ever, it blows my mind, you are seeing the game say you not only own the champion, but he's SIG 200. Normally, like if it was Gladiator, of course, I wouldn't have Gladiator. Definitely not as a 5-star. And so that's a huge appeal. I think it's hilarious that they kept the same format, but with an old champ. I think the odds of getting a 7-star of him should be at least double. I mean, at the worst, 0.5%. And I know that there are whales out there, or unfortunately people who think they're whales but probably shouldn't be spending the money, hence the phrase Marvel Casino of Champions, that are still going to go after this. Especially because you limit 2. But for $100, even though you do have 20 featured Paragon crystals, at this point even like $100, let's say you get a 7-star. Is it worth $100 cash? I don't think so. Now if you get the best 7-star, if you get somebody like OG Hulk for the first time, or Domino, or Bishop, or Gore, or whoever, Wicked, then yeah, maybe you can make an argument. But I have, let's just say, received some messages that would not be family friendly if I read them out loud in this video. So I was not prepared for the rage of this offer, but I get why people are thinking, how can you justify, even with double the crystals, the same price tag for somebody who hasn't been in the game yet? No matter what, it shouldn't be called pre-release bundles. It should be called Iron Man bundles. I don't know. Do you think people are overreacting, or do you think this should be cheaper? Again, 10 crystals for $50 is a positive, and if they made this the new standard where you could have 10 crystals for Gladiator, I'd be all over it. But as it stands right now, if it goes back to 5, it's just a weird offer. And I know this is new and MCOC is kind of trying it out, but the best way that we can encourage Kabam to do better with this is to not purchase it. So that's going to be my message. And that's the message that Kabam Jax and Kabam Mike also say on the forums several times this year. Hey, if you don't like something, don't buy it, and then we'll know to try something else. So let's go back to the drawing board and try something else.